Thanks, Nichelle. He's still going strong. The head coaches, Sean Payton and Raheem Morris, a couple of key players scratched today. The running backs, Garrett Thomas and Reggie Bush, still out. The secondary guys, Randall Gay and Tracy Porter, are out, and Scott Shanley, a late scratch for the Bucs. The key man, Jeff Fain, at center, replaced by Jeremy Zuta.
Good piece there with Rondé Barber. Can't wait to watch him play today. I think we're going to see a different wrinkle out of Rondé Barber in this game. He told me last night, I said, what's the wildest thing you've done here in 14 years defensively? Because you really want to know what's going to be tomorrow. I'm going to play weak side linebacker in all the sub packages. So look for Rondé down in the box, covering those receivers, man up down the seam.
Garrett Hartley kicks off for New Orleans. Back deep, Michael Spurlock for the Bucs, and here we go. Spurlock from the 5. His longest return this season, 30 yards. Spins, goes flying down at around the 28-yard line. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3-1 on the season, coming off a win in Cincinnati last week, led by second-year quarterback Josh Freeman. He'll have Cadillac Williams, but we'll see a lot of Kareem Huggins, a first-year back out of Hofstra, and Ernest Graham had a big run last week. Michael Williams has been a big surprise at wide receiver. The offensive line, how will Jeremy Zuta do in the matchup against Cedric Ellis of the Saints? Bucs come out with two tight ends. John Gilmore along with Kellen Winslow off the play fake. Freeman with time. Goes for the short man, Cadillac Williams, who's tripped up, stays on his feet, and gets a couple of yards up to the 29-yard line. He picked up 2 on the play. For the Saints, defensively, up front, as we mentioned, Cedric Ellis at defensive tackle, leads with 3 sacks. They brought in Alex Brown, who has played very well, and Will Smith, who was a little banged up, is a key pass rusher. At linebacker, Scott Shanley is out. Jolan Dunbar and Danny Clark is starting. Patrick Robinson, the rookie first-round draft pick, gets the start today. 3 wide receivers in. Michael Spurlock, the third wide out. Handoff inside, and fighting for another 2 yards is Cadillac Williams.
Let's keep our eye on Jeremy Zuta today, who's starting at center, Sam, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you think of Jeff Fain, and Fain, the typical starting center, he's out. He's going to be out for several weeks with a quad injury. And Zuta will have his hands full today, and really didn't play, has never played a lot of center, was a backup center his freshman year at Rutgers. But from the neck up today will be a challenge for him, just trying to get the protection declaration figured out and all the stuff Greg Williams, the coordinator, is going to show him.
Anthony Hargrove in at defensive tackle for the Saints. Williams,
look at this, 2 defensive ends right in the A-gap.
Pressure, and the pass is high, but great catch by Mike Williams. The rookie out of Syracuse, who was bothered by a foot injury this week, didn't practice all that much. What a season he's having. He picks up 9 and a first down.
Look at these backers flashing the A-gaps. A little left movement there by Freeman. What a beautifully placed ball, high and outside to Mike Williams. They have got great confidence. That's the #1 targeted rookie wide receiver in all of pro football, and Josh Freeman has tremendous confidence in him to throw it up, and he'll go get it.
First down at the 40. Ernest Graham is in at fullback for the Bucs. It's Cadillac Williams looking for running room. There's none there. Good job up front by the Saints of stacking it up.
Well, the Saints need to play the run like they played it last week. Now, you look at that Arizona game, they didn't even give Arizona 2 yards of carry. And you go back earlier in the year for the Saints defensively, the Atlanta game. Now, Atlanta had a bunch of runs, but they creased them pretty good. Certainly San Francisco on that primetime game were able to hit him. And what Greg Williams has done with his D-line is he's really moved the backside of that defensive line to more 3-4 type head-up shades. Almost 2-gap principles, Sam, to eliminate the cutback runs, and it worked last week.
They split out Cadillac Williams. Ernest Graham is in the backfield. Both wideouts to the right side. Freeman, little pressure, buys some time, goes short, but missed as he tried to hit Cadillac Williams. Bring up a 3rd and 10. Remy Adell, the defensive tackle, got some pressure on Josh Freeman. So the Saints doing a good job defensively. They did a good job last week defensively against Arizona. The feeling was they gave up only 9 points. The offense turned the ball over and gave up 21 points.
And if you go back to last year, this defense, I mean, they were knocking it out at an alarming rate and scoring touchdowns and getting points on the board.
Kellen Winslow splits out. Excellent receiving tight end. Three wide receivers. Freeman throws wide of Mike Williams. Thought there was contact with Lee Torrance, but nothing called on the play, and the Bucs will be forced to punt. And that is Robert Malone. This will be his first punt in the NFL. Rookie out of Fresno State was signed early this week when the Bucs released Chris Bryant, who they felt was very inconsistent.
Look at that. Sixth punter since the Josh Bidwell injury in 09.
Went to camp with Jacksonville, was cut before the start of the season. His first NFL punt is on the way. Back deep is Courtney Roby, lets it bounce, takes a Bucs roll, and it is covered by Lance. That was Lance Moore. It was back deep, and it was covered.
Yeah.
A 55-yard punt.
Can you unpack your bags, Malone?
Hey.
Yeah, you can.
You can stay.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Here's a couple of things to keep our early eyes on. The Saints run game, which is really cut in half from last year's production. Jeremy Zutah and the protections. So far, so good. There's Jeremy, no free runners, at least on that first drive. And then the Saints rookie cornerback Patrick Robinson getting his second start today because of injury, graded out very high. Last week, he'll have a bullseye on his chest today.
Saints start from the 6-yard line with Chris Ivory cutting it back and getting some room. Chased by Rondé Barber. Good speed by Ivory. And he's out of bounds at the 24-yard line. An 18-yard run. And a good start to the game for the Saints. As you look at their offense, Drew Brees completing better than 71% of his passes. Chris Ivory getting the start. Liddell Betts will see playing time. The offensive line led by Jari Evans, the Pro Bowl guard.
Cannot wait to watch the matchup on the inside today with Jari Evans on the 3rd overall pick, the defensive tackle rookie Gerald McCoy.
That 18-yard run, the longest of the season for the Saints. Here's Liddell Betts straight ahead. Gets about 4. Let's check out what's happening in Philadelphia with the Eagles and the Falcons. Here's Kurt Menefee.
A run almost twice as long as the one you were just talking about. Deshaun Jackson on the end around for the Eagles. Takes it 31 yards on the opening possession. Eagles lead the Falcons 7-0 already. Sam and Tim.
Thank you, Kurt. Big day in Philadelphia. Eagles this afternoon. NLCS, Phillies and Giants game 2 tonight. All on Fox. And a handoff to Ivory. He gets up to the 34-yard line. Looks like he's got enough for the first down.
Well, and here's what I was talking about with Rondé Barber. He's lined up in the box as a weak side linebacker. It's pretty amazing, and I would think, here's Rondé right here. Now, he's going to get big Carl Nix going right out on him. Excuse me, Jonathan Goodwin, the center. That's going to be the issue of Rondé Barber in the box today. It's not going to be playing the pass. Rondé said the big challenge this week, being in the box as a linebacker, Sam, is all the run fits and where he fits in defending the run game.
2 tight ends, 3 wide receivers. Nobody in the backfield with Brees. He throws outside, and he completes it to Robert Meacham. And he's out of bounds up to the 47-yard line. Let's check out the Bucs on defense, the 4-3 defense. They've got the rookie Gerald McCoy, their first-round draft pick out of Oklahoma. A key man. Will also see their second-round pick, Brian Price, in the game. Linebackers are the key. Quincy Black is a good pass rusher. And Ball Hawks on defense. Aqib Talib has an interception in 3 straight games. Ivory and Heath Evans in the backfield. The play fake. Brees rolling and throwing wide open. Lance Moore. First down at the Bucs 37-yard line.
Well, really, really smart by Brees. Knowing your opponent, knowing what Barrett Root is as a middle linebacker. Anytime that boot action comes, you're going to see Barrett Root. He'll turn and start hunting up a receiver. He's expecting the crosser to come this way. He tapers it off and almost kind of turns it up the field, and Drew and Lance Moore make a great adjustment That's how you hammer a good defender in the middle that knows how to play the bootleg.
Two tight ends in. They split Jeremy Shockey to the right and tight as Dave Thomas. Liddell Betts in the backfield. First down. Breeze short drop. Goes to Dave Thomas. It's down to the 31. Saints started on the 6-yard line. On their first possession this season, they have scored in 4 of their 5 games. The one game they didn't score, they fumbled at the 1-yard line. Lance Moore turned it over. They had touchdowns in the first 3 games. They had a field goal last week. They can move it and put points up early.
Starting fast has not been their problem. You go back to the Carolina game a few weeks ago, they were all the way down and had other issues in terms of the turnovers. So I think the thing with them is not igniting early, but letting that fuse burn into the 4th quarter and being hot then.
Michael Bennett, number 71, in at defensive end for the Bucs. On second down, quick toss. They stop the play. Looks like a false start against the Saints. Our referee is Clete Blakeman.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's our man from Bloomsburg, Jari Evans. How about this guy, Jari Evans? Despite the penalty, he went to the Pro Bowl last year. Outstanding. Signed a big contract. This is out of Little Bloomsburg in Pennsylvania.
Love it. Love it. The guy's a very good player. 4th round pick. Great find by Mickey Loomis. He said, how about the weight room at Bloomsburg? He said, yeah, we had one. We just didn't have a strength coach.
Back to the 36. Liddell Betts in the backfield.
There's Rondé in the box again.
And Breeze steps back. And a delay of game against the Saints. A couple of mistakes.
It's another area that's hurt him.
Delay of game. Offense. The 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And that's what they feel, that penalties and turnovers have been their real bugaboo this year.
Which is interesting when you talk about self-inflicted wounds for a world champion that is always polished. They just haven't been that way this year. And Sean Payton said it. He goes, look, we're trying to repeat. We knew it was going to be tough. We told the guys from the get-go. You don't think it's going to be tough, just, there's the door. You know?
2nd and 14. Saints move back to the 41-yard line. They get the play off. Breeze gets time. He throws deep for Moore. He's got it. Touchdown. He beat Aqib Talib. Beautiful throw by Drew Brees. And the Saints go 94 yards and score on their first possession again.
It's almost like Aqib Talib fell asleep out there. He was in great position. He had the deep quarter. He's running. He's got Lance Moore manned up. He doesn't have help. And then drifted to the inside of the field, which opened up a gap between him and Lance Moore. He and Lance Moore and Drew Brees dropped it right over the top with a perfect throw.
4th touchdown catch of the season for Lance Moore to lead the team. 41-yard touchdown pass. Brees to Moore. And back is the number 1 kicker is Garrett Hartley. John Carney was released this week. He kicks the extra point. And the Saints drive down the field, and they finish it off with a beauty. Breeze to Moore, and the Saints lead.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Sam, here's the touchdown, and it's almost like Aqib Talib just falls asleep and loses focus. He's going to play inside leverage. He's going to force the outside release, which says he's got to man up the whole way. And it was almost like in his mind, I'm just going to run with this guy. He's not going to throw it to Lance down the sideline on this takeoff route. Oh, he threw it right over the top. Perfect throw. I think lack of focus more than anything.
He looked back, and the ball came over his head. Here's Preston Parker, the rookie wide receiver, who's in the return. He's had a long of 37 this season. Gets it back up to the 25-yard line. The Bucs now looking for a spark as they are down 7-0.
Today's game is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. By Lowe's. Lowe's, let's build something together. And by Pizza Hut. Your favorite plays deserve your favorite pizza. Your favorites, your Pizza Hut.
Don't forget tonight, the NLCS continues. The Giants won Game 1 last night, 4-3 in Philadelphia. Phillies and Giants tonight, Game 2, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on Fox. Joe Buck and Tim McCarver calling all the action. Good game last night.
Huge win for them.
Bucs come out with 2 tight ends, and Kareem Huggins is the running back. Adam Hofstra, the little man, dancing through the hole, gets up to the 32-yard line. He's 5'9", 198 pounds. The Saints have their man from Hofstra, Marcus Colston, the wide receiver. And here is Kareem Huggins out of Hofstra, who was signed last year. He played 3 games last year. That was his 2nd carry in the NFL. Had one earlier this season.
And led him in preseason in yards per carry at 5.4. So he brings an element of speed to the backfield, obviously. Here we'll see him run around as a receiver as they're in the empty set.
3 wide receivers.
Got a linebacker on.
They split everybody out. Josh Freeman being rushed. Puts it up in the air deep. He tried to get it to Kareem Huggins, who had a step on the linebacker. Danny Clark was blitzing from the outside with the empty backfield, putting pressure on Josh Freeman.
And you're going to see a lot of pressure, I think, from Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator. Look at that, 50% blitz, 8th in the NFL. Raheem, he feels good on just sitting back, keeping everything in front of you and rallying up and making tackles. So certainly a different philosophy when you look at these 2 really defensive-minded coaches and how they get after it.
Raheem Morris runs the defense. Head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ernest Graham in the backfield with Cadillac Williams. Freeman under pressure, completes it to Williams. Cadillac Williams up at the 39-yard line. He's got a first down. So using the back out of the backfield, the Bucs pick up another first down. Pickup of 7 on that play.
So impressed with the poise of Josh Freeman. Just watching the tape. 5-2 in his last 7 starts. I could not believe how much Cincinnati blitzed him last week, and he never got rattled. The more they blitzed, the more he made plays late in that football game.
He stands in there. Kareem Huggins is back in with Ernest Graham in the backfield. Short drop. Freeman completes it to his tight end, Jeremy Stevens. In the Saints territory down to the 48. That's a first down for the Bucs.
Well, they're just going to flood the perimeter with a running back and with a tight end, and Freeman's just going to make a choice on which guy he wants. And have not had a lot of production out of Jeremy Stevens this year, but he is a matchup problem at 6'7". Greg Olsen doing a nice job here, Sam, of mixing it up with the play call.
The offensive coordinator worked with Drew Brees. He and Drew Brees are still very close, good friends. Bucs getting something going. Freeman gets time, puts it up deep, but too far. He had Sammy Strawder out there, but Strawder was double covered and it was thrown too far. Let's go back to Philadelphia for another update. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Well, since everybody on the pregame show took the Falcons, you knew this was going to happen. Kevin Cobb hooking up with Deshaun Jackson, already his 2nd touchdown of the game, and it's 14-0 Philadelphia, opening this thing up early. Sam and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. Great throw by Cobb. And how about Deshaun Jackson? Well, he's had a great day already. A running touchdown and the reception.
I wonder if Andy's ready for another waffle. You know what I mean?
3-way tie for first place in that division. There's Huggins, and he's brought down for a loss of 2 back to midfield. Huggins doesn't have a lot of size. He needs some blocking up front. Didn't get it that time.
And it's hard when you get penetration out of a 4-man front like they get out of here with the old Buck, Jimmy Wilkerson. Watch him crease it up inside. Now he's going to have to do a cutback. Look, right there, right by Davin Joseph. He's got to cut back inside. And then there's Remy Adel to make the tackle.
Here's 3rd and 12 with Cadillac Williams back in. Freeman steps up, works his line. Play. They chase Freeman and he gets rid of it. It's incomplete. Try to get it to Sammy Strawder.
Yeah, Vilma's offsides. Vilma's offsides. A little bit early there, it looked like, with Jonathan Vilma coming off the edge.
Offsides. Defense, number 51. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So another try on 3rd down for the Bucs.
And this is going to be a confusing look with backers in the middle. There's Vilma there to the outside. Her defensive ends up the middle. That was pretty good anticipation there. It's closer than it looked like from up here. But those are the challenges now that Greg Williams is going to apply with his defense. Not a lot you're going to see defensive ends standing up, lining up in the A-gaps, threatening blitz. And the A-gaps are the gaps in between the center and the guard.
They like to go to Kellen Winslow on third down. He's got 11 third down receptions. It's 3rd and 7. 3 wide receivers in. He gets time. He's throwing for Strawder, and he missed him. Strawder looked inside. The pass was outside. And falls incomplete.
Well, they get that matchup with the rookie Patrick Robinson against the rookie 4th-round pick. Now, Patrick's a 1st-round pick. You got a 4th-round pick in Mike Williams. If Josh sees that matchup over and over again, he's going to continue to throw it that way. They like that one.
Second punt for Robert Malone, officially 54 yards on his first punt. Puts the nose down, kicks it way up in the air. Again, Lance Moore lets it bounce. This time a lively bounce goes into the end zone for a touchback. So it's a 45-yard punt, but it nets 25. Robert Malone in his first NFL game.
Oh! Put it back in the suitcase.
There's the 1st-round draft pick. They're counting on Gerald McCoy to be the foundation of this defensive line.
Sam, you have to be in this defense. It's that under tackle, that Warren Sapp position that you need to dominate.
Saints start from the 20, Liddell Betts, and he fed into the backfield. Breeze puts it up to Nets, but Marcus Colston at the 30. It's enough for a first down. Drew Brees starts the game 5 for 5.
Red hot. And back to Gerald McCoy. I mean, I think I should caution all the Bucs fans that what the expectations are for defensive tackles, even the high picks in this league, and how tough of a transition it is to really get sack production. I mean, think back to Warren Sapp, his rookie year. Warren could be in the Hall of Fame, but think back to his rookie year. The guy had 3 sacks. 3 sacks and 30 tackles for a first-year defensive tackle is typically a pretty good year. Tough transition.
Chris Ivory in at running back, takes the handoff, good hold, and he just slams into Rondé Barber. I mean, he just didn't make any moves, didn't want to go around him. He just met him full force.
Well, that's Rondé at 184 pounds and getting down in the combat zone. And Chris Ivory, they like this guy. Talking to Sean Payton about him yesterday, I said, tell me about the run game. He goes, I will be irritated if he doesn't get 100 yards tomorrow. And it's not for disrespect to the Bucs defense. It's more about his belief in this big, powerful downhill runner.
Last run was 5, 2nd and 5 on the play. They motion Devery Henderson. It's Ivory. Not much of a hole, but the line gets some push. And winds up as a 2-yard gain up to the 37. Quincy Black wrapped up Chris Ivory.
I'll tell you one thing they'll do against those huge offensive guards with the New Orleans Saints is they'll move the front and they'll start moving guys down inside. Get a real good look at it there with all the bodies in there, but you will see him a lot of times in this game take Gerald McCoy, take Miller, take some of the other guys and crash them down inside, hitting the gap so they don't have to take on that big mass head up with that offensive line.
They bring in the other high draft pick, Brian Price, number 92, defensive tackle. Here's 3rd and a long 2. They go straight ahead, and it looks like they've got enough for a first down with Liddell Betts carrying.
And typically, if they need one, it's going to be right behind one of these offensive guards right here. This time it's starts out behind Jari Evans and then cuts back behind Carl Nix, who's able to get good push. Creative enough of a lane there, for Betts.
On the end of the line, Zach Streif is in, number 64, is an eligible. Liddell Betts in the backfield off the play fake. Breeze with time, and he finds Dave Thomas, the tight end, up at the 48-yard line.
Breeze pass complete.
If the deep routes are covered, Breeze finds the underneath man.
Classic West Coast, run everybody deep and then run a crosser underneath. You see the backers getting depth on their drops. It's easy pickings for Drew to pick up 6 or 7 yards. I like Dave Thomas a lot. They got him from New England last year in a trade. He is really an underrated player. Really, really versatile, Sam, and all the different things that he can do.
E.J. Biggers, number 31, is in a defensive back for the Bucs as a 5th defensive back. Liddell Betts in the backfield. short drop. Breeze throws and connects with Marcus Colston. First down at the 45-yard line. And that short stuff just continues to eat up yards. That was a 7-yard pickup, a first down. And Drew Brees continues his perfect passing.
You know why he's so good? Because he's patient. And I think talking to Drew yesterday, that's going to be a big part of this game plan. Tampa wants to keep everything in front of you. So just take what they give you. That time they gave a little quick out route just outside of Rondé Barber, and it was easy.
Chris Ivory in running back. Jumping across was Michael Bennett. And they call a false start.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's on the right tackle, John Stinchcomb.
Hard to believe Marcus Colston doesn't have a touchdown this year.
It is. But
5 games, his production is as much as he's been able to dominate over the years.
But you talked about it. They're taking away. They're trying to keep the play in front of them. Most teams are trying to do that to the Saints. We have come to the end of the first quarter. The Saints moving well, scored the only touchdown. They lead 7-0. Welcome back to Tampa. Sam Rosen, Tim Ryan, Nichelle Turner, Sean Payton. 7 passes, 6 runs in the first quarter. Start the second quarter. And it's Chris Ivory carrying for a couple of yards. Sean Payton and the Saints have had the last few weeks without Reggie Bush, without Pierre Thomas. They've been looking for consistent running back. Chris Ivory is giving them that day. They picked up Julius Jones this week. They hope to have both Ivory and Bush back within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think they thought Pierre. Yeah, I think they thought Pierre was back already, so they're a little bit miffed that ankle rating. It's not high, according to Sean Payton, that he's not ready to go yet. You're right on Bush. Week 8 against Pittsburgh.
Play fake. Breeze with time, but Colston stumbled. He was covered on the play by E.J. Biggers. Let's check out Miami and Green Bay and go to Kurt Menefee.
How about Aaron Rodgers, the longest touchdown pass of his brief career so far? 86 yards. This time, Greg Jennings outrunning everybody. And the Packers have retaken the lead 10-7 over the Miami Dolphins just near the end of the first quarter. Sam and Tim and Michelle.
Thanks very much, Kurt. That's a good combination.
Yeah, good to see
Jennings.
Good to see Greg Jennings ignited a little bit. It's been a rough start to the season for him, production-wise.
Oh, some contact on the line. Looked like Brian Price, the rookie second-round pick, made some contact coming across. Clete Blakeman.
Encroachment. Defense, number 92. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That last play, that last pass by Drew Brees, his first incompletion of the game. He's 7 for 8, 99 yards. But the 5-yard penalty.
Can I tell you how much easier that is than 3rd and 12?
Robert Benjamin is a third wide receiver. Adele Betts in the backfield. Brees gets time, steps up, goes deep. He's got a man. It's Meacham. He steps around one man and goes in. Touchdown. There were 2 men down there. He found an opening, 42-yard touchdown pass from Brees to Meacham.
Well, Cody Grimm, here he is. He's got deep half. You got cover 2 right there. Talib's going to force an inside release. There it is. Now Grimm's got to get over the top. Grimm has got to get over the top to defend the deep half. Aqib Talib was absolutely right. You force an inside release. You sink if you don't have a threat from another receiver coming out to the flat. He did it exactly right. Grimm late getting over the top to make a play.
Here's Garrett Hartley's extra point. It's good. How about Brees? Short, 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 boom, long.
Well, we talked about that. He said he's going to be patient. Then when the opportunities are there, he's going to rip it up over the top.
The explosive plays for the Saints this season have been on the pass. They haven't run big. They had an 18-yard run by Chris Ivory earlier in the game. But Brees' passing today has been brilliant. 2 touchdown passes of 41 and 42 yards.
And what's been impressive is the play calling, and we've seen them both down the perimeter. I think when you watch the Saints this year, a lot of teams have said, we're going to take the seam routes away from Drew Brees. He's the best there is in attacking safeties. Offensively, they've changed it up, the Saints, and have gone right to the perimeter with success.
2 men deep for the Bucs. Michael Spurlock and Preston Parker. Parker steps up to take it at the 4. And he's tripped up as he crosses the 20. And gets up to the 22-yard line. Right now, the Saints are taking things in hand.
Today's game is sponsored by Coors Light, the new silver bullet aluminum pint from Coors Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL, by Dish Network, and by the new Ford Edge. The world has never seen a crossover quite like this.
This is a Fox football doubleheader day, and the second game is a good one. It's Dallas at Minnesota, and though both teams are 1-3, you want to say must win early in the season?
Hard to believe there's a playoff game already at week 6.
Wow. That's a big one coming up. And then we top it all off with the NLCS. Baseball playoffs tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Eric Loring lines up at fullback. Outside, the completion to Aurelius Ben. He fumbled it as he was going out of bounds. It will remain Bucs ball, and it's just short of the first down. That's where they'll spot it. Aurelius Ben, the rookie out of Illinois, second-round draft pick. Mike Williams has kind of superseded Aurelius Ben.
No question. Aurelius is a big, strong, physical receiver out of Illinois. It's been a little more of a challenge for him just understanding the pro game, and he's been in different positions. And they came in from day one, put Mike Williams at X and said, this is your spot, learn it. And he hasn't looked back.
2 tight ends in, Kellen Winslow and John Gilmore. On the carry, Cadillac Williams, not much. No gain on the play. Let's find out what the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing today. For that, we go to Kurt Menefee.
Ben Roethlisberger picked off on his 3rd pass of the game, but makes up for it, hanging in there and hooking up with Mike Wallace for a touchdown. His first pass, obviously, for a score this year. 7-3, Steelers on top of the Browns in the second quarter. Sam and Tim.
The return of Ben Roethlisberger. One thing that the Saints coaches were saying is how much they feel Josh Freeman plays the game like Ben Roethlisberger.
Well, he's a tough sack. His size is where you make the comparison. He's heavier than Ben, but very strong in the lower body and shaking off tacklers.
The toss to Cadillac Williams. He cuts it back and gets it up for the first down. Good run.
Great run, because that was all Jeff Charleston, who was all over what they call the flip 90, a little misdirection flip to the outside. This guy's got to stay home and have the edge. The ball's coming here. He does a good job of it, but Cadillac cuts it back inside and gets enough for the first down. That's his read right there. Oh, gosh. He played it perfect. I better get up inside and get what I can, and it was enough for the first down.
First down at the 34. Eric Loring lines up at fullback, the rookie out of Stanford. Number 44, they stop the play. Looks like a false start against the Bucs.
False start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Third penalty of the game for the Bucs as they are set back 5. Now the Bucs down 14-0 here. Will they change their offensive approach, or is it still too early?
Yeah, I think it's still too early. 12 minutes to go in the second quarter. Yeah, I think they still got to stay with some balance. Threat of the run, some play action, and then Freeman obviously with the passing game.
2 tight ends in. Kareem Huggins is the running back. Tight ends to the right. Short drop by Freeman, and he connects for a gain up to the 38-yard line. The completion to Sammy Strawder. Second-year man out of Oregon State. This is a very young Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. 3-13 last season, but Josh Freeman took over mid-season and grew with the team. They finished up with a couple of wins. They've now won 5 of their last 7. Raheem Morris, the young coach, seems to have really settled into his niche as a head coach and defensive coordinator. Freeman goes to the tight end and completes it to John Gilmore. It's very close to the first down. Looks like might be about half a yard short. Jolon Dunbar with the tackle for the Saints. Dunbar was not going to start the game, but Scott Shanley, who'd been bothered by a hamstring that he suffered strain last Wednesday in practice, was scratched. So Dunbar made the start. Winslow out on short yardage situation. Eric Loring, the rookie tight end, lines up in the backfield. Williams in motion. Cadillac Williams carries. They grabbed him, brought him down. Let's see where the spot is. This will be all important. He didn't need much. Saints did a good job up front.
Did a great job as Roman Harper came flying off the corner to force that thing cut up inside.
Well, if that yellow line is accurate, if the spot is accurate, he may just make it by the nose of the football. And that yellow first down line is being operated by Jason Carter, who's celebrating his 37th birthday today. Look at that. And Jason's right on the money.
I told you Roman Harper flying off the edge. He runs into Eric Loring. Watch the collision right here. 44 gets to him. Knife through, force it back inside. Loring gets on top of him and just keeps driving.
All up to the 44-yard line, and Loring lines up at fullback again with Kareem Huggins in the backfield. Huggins looking for some room. Short gain up to the 46 before he's wrestled down. And again, the Bucs being very patient, very steady. 7 for 12 is Josh Freeman, only 54 yards. They had a punt after their first 2 possessions.
Well, they're methodical now, and they don't do a lot of things to hurt themselves, self-destruction. A little surprised with the penalties today. Already 4 in this game. They're the cleanest team in the National Football League, averaging only about 4 penalties a game.
Loring lines up at the fullbacks slot. Freeman. Nobody open. Buys some time, hit as he throws, and goes out of bounds. Remy Adel, he has been pressuring the quarterback throughout the game, and he was in on Josh Freeman again this time. Big man at 318 pounds.
Third down, this is where Kellen Winslow has done his work. He's been the best third down tight end in pro football this year. Don't think for a minute Greg Williams doesn't know it too. Marvin bracking him up here with 2 guys.
Marvin Mitchell, number 50, in at linebacker, usually comes in. They want him in there to perhaps spy Josh Freeman, make sure he doesn't take off. But the shotgun, the blitz from the outside, the pass up in the air, incomplete. Great job by the safety, Malcolm Jenkins. I mean, he was flying in on Josh Freeman and forced him to get rid of it too soon.
Yeah, he is either going to take the sack or get rid of it. Here's Kellen right here. They got 2 guys on him. Let's see what they do to him. A little push there. Well, he's able to get a nice outside release. It was exactly what he wanted. But Josh was pressured so fast, like you said, from Malcolm Jenkins, that he basically just threw it up to no man's land.
Third punt of the game for Robert Malone. Lance Moore looking for some space, spinning, but he is wheeled around and taken down by Quincy Lott. A linebacker was down there in a hurry. He's got great speed, great coverage. And the Saints go on offense once again. They lead it 14-0.
About the 9 route in this game today so far. We've seen it on a few occasions. Right here, the go route. Here's the 9 route to Lance Moore. Touchdown, and then the same thing for Meacham. There's the 9 route, out cut to the sideline. He gets nice and wide. Perfect throw. Touchdown number 2. Both 9 routes.
Saints start from the 13, and Julius Jones, who was picked up this week, had been released by Seattle. He's in the line, number 21. That pass intended for Jeremy Shockey is dropped and incomplete. There is Julius Jones, former Dallas Cowboy running back and high draft pick. And Sean Payton was in Dallas when he was drafted, knows him, and feels he still has a big burst and can be explosive.
And you see already, I mean, what he is, I think you're going to see. I don't think you'll see the big runs on the first and second down stuff as much as you're going to see him in protection. and understanding the concepts of pass protection for the Saints. See what they do here out of a running set.
Jones and Evans, the play fake, pressure on Breeze, slips away and goes deep. For Meacham, it's overthrown. Double coverage. Akeem Talib and Cody Grimm covering on the play. Michael Bennett with pressure on Drew Brees.
Very good coverage here, out and up by Meacham. He's going to stick it out, now back up the seam. Very good job by Akeem Talib, keeping him on the inside, knowing he's got help from Cody Grimm on the inside. Inside-outside coverage, perfectly executed by the Bucs.
Jimmy Graham is in, the rookie tight end. Saints are 2 for 2 on third down conversions. 3 wideouts in, empty backfield. On 3rd and 10. Screen pass to the tight end, Jimmy Graham, and he's got a first down. He fumbles the ball out of bounds, but a first down. The rookie out of Miami, a basketball player at Miami, being converted to tight end.
And a good one. Look, empty set. Most of the time the Mike backer's going to blitz. Everybody else is going to drop off. Quincy Black looks inside, number 58. And he has no idea. That was the key right there. Rude blitzed on the inside, but Quincy Black had his eyes into the backfield. Jimmy Graham went right outside. Now, I don't know who's a basketball player at Miami, a good basketball player. Terrific shot blocker, over 500 points, over 500 rebounds at the U.
That was his first NFL catch. Here goes Chris Ivory. There's the longest run of the season for the New Orleans Saints. Ivory down to the 43-yard line. 33-yard run for the rookie out of Tiffin College.
Watch the double team right here on the end, Michael Bennett. And now Sean Jones has got to be the guy to make the play. There's the double team. They've got the edge. And E.J. Biggers, the corner, also got caught up inside, along with Sean Jones. Had him out leverage from the get-go, did Chris Ivory.
I don't want to say anything, but Sean Payton wants 100 yards out of him. He has 6 carries for 69 yards here in the first half. Here's Ivory again. This time he ran into one of the linebackers, and he's pushed back, but he gets down to the 38. Let's update what Baltimore is doing in New England. For that, here's Kurt Menefee.
The Ravens continue to make the case for best team in the AFC, if not all of football. Joe Flacco to tie the Heat, 16 yards on the reception. And in New England, the Ravens have a lead 10-7 in the second quarter. Sam, Tim, and Michelle.
Thanks, Kurt. Not easy to win in New England, is it, Tim?
22 straight home wins for Tom Brady.
David Thomas lines up in the backfield. Chris Ivory carries another good hole up front. Ivory down to the 31-yard line, a first down. So the Saints are running the ball a lot better.
Well, they're getting good blocking up front. Look what they do to Roy Miller right here. Watch the push from Jonathan Goodwin and Jari Evans. I mean, they take him. Look, he's 5 yards out of his gap. You block like that up front, I don't care who it is, they're going to get positive yards running up inside.
Saints have put up 240 yards total offense already. Here's Julius Jones, his first carry. Look at that explosion. And he's down to the 15-yard line. So the newest New Orleans Saint picks up 16 on his first carry.
Same play. Again, Roy Miller gets washed out, and now Gerald McCoy misses the tackle. That's just, and Gerald did miss the tackle. He was trying to spike down inside, get up in front of the guard. That's just a terrific read by Julius Jones. Real good vision there on the cutback.
Yards per carry in this game. Saints on 9.5. They're down the 15-yard line. Jones in the backfield. This drive started at the Saints 13. Julius Jones gets a couple of yards on the play. The Saints have had the ball 3 times. This is their 3rd possession. They've scored touchdowns on the first 2 on drives of 94 yards and 80 yards. And this drive started at the 13. It's down to the 13 of Tampa Bay.
Well, we all know Tampa's had issues stopping the run. We've seen that today. The one that's surprising, though, is the big plays and the 2 big touchdowns over the top. Clearly, in this young season, they have not faced an offense like Breeze and the Saints.
Everybody out. They stopped the play. And was there a timeout? Saints may have called a timeout.
New Orleans. It's their first time out of the half.
That came from the sideline just before the play started. We'll be right back.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Windows 7.
Saints have played well here in Tampa. Last year they were the best team in the red zone. This year they've dropped off. Turnovers have hurt them in the red zone. And here they are, their first red zone possession of the game. Chris Ivory, the running back, ninth play of the drive. With pass completed to Dave Thomas, the tight end. And he's down just inside the 10-yard line.
David Thomas.
I also think they had tremendous balance. They don't have a red zone rushing touchdown. When you look at what they've done here, 1 this year, 19 last year. So look at the balance there and how effective they were in running the football. And what that does is it effectively puts a hole in that umbrella coverage that everybody likes to run down in the red zone. I also think not having Reggie and not having Pierre Thomas has been a huge negative for them down in the money area.
The Bucs decide to call a timeout with a 3rd and 5
Tampa Bay
coming up. We talked about Reggie Bush. How much do they miss him, and what do they miss about him, Tim?
Well, think about this. Look at Reggie right here. He's got a linebacker in terms of the matchup, little stutter route, bang, he's going to take it to the outside. He's going to run away from the backer, easy touchdown. Now he's got a safety on him. They're going to run everybody off, run everybody deep, give Reggie a little option route. This time he stutters it inside, gets the hook up, runs away from the safety of the Rams, touchdown. And that is such an effective weapon down in the red zone that they don't have. We saw it earlier in the year against Patrick Willis in the 49ers the night that Reggie got hurt.
And the other back, of course, Pierre Thomas, who was their leading rusher last year. He's still out. They hope to have Reggie back, of course, back in a couple of weeks. Sean Payton saying last night he's on schedule. 3 tight ends in. This is 3rd and 5 for the Saints. Liddell Betts in the backfield. The throw to the corner is wide of Jimmy Graham. So the Bucs drive stalls at the 10-yard line.
Drew wishes he had that one back. That wasn't one of his better throws.
Number 5.
You get a big receiver like Jimmy Graham, who's a tight end, but he's so big. Rondé Barber's going to play the upfield shoulder on him. That's just what you do if you're a smaller defensive back. So you throw the back shoulder throw, and that was just too far back that Graham had no chance to get it.
Chase Daniel is the holder, the backup quarterback. The long snapper is Jason Kyle, and here's Garrett Hartley with a 28-yard attempt. That is hooked, and it is good. Hartley got into the doghouse when he missed a game-winning attempt against Atlanta. Now he's the man. Ryan Wilson shut it down for the Giants, who lead the series 1-0. Game 2, 8 o'clock Eastern time here on Fox tonight. Preston Parker on the return, and the Saints have it covered at the 22-yard line. Time to go down to the sunshine, and who's there but Deshaun Turner? Michelle.
Yeah, there's a lot of that sunshine here today, Sam. You know, last year Josh Freeman was saying that he was asking himself if he was even fit to play in this league. He said then he just got on the field, he started taking some of the knocks and realized this game was all about winning. Now he's got a confidence that his teammates see now. He's using more of his skills, one of which are his feet, but he does say, I don't really like to run, but I do like getting first downs more. So let's see if we can get some of those going forward here, guys. Back to you.
He needs some. You're right. Thanks, Michelle. From the 22-yard line, 2 tight ends in, Winslow and Gilmore. Kind of like Williams in the backfield. Carry, good hold, and a good run by Cadillac. Let's go to New York, find out what the Giants and Lions are doing. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Giants find themselves in a battle with the Lions, but they untie it. Mario Manningham, 33-yard reception from Eli Manning, and it's 14-7 New York late in the second quarter. Sam, Tim, and Michelle.
Thanks, Kurt. Good race in the NFC East. 3 teams, 3 and 2. That was at the Meadowlands in New Jersey.
See if they take a big shot here. Up top, they got Mike Williams on Patrick Robinson.
2 tight ends, Jeremy Stevens in as well. Freeman goes short to the outside. Close. The first down line as he hit Kellen Winslow. Danny Clark covering him. Well, they've done a good job shutting Kellen Winslow down. He's not been a factor.
Yeah, so far so good. Looks like he's got a little bit of a limp working there too. Kellen doesn't have a touchdown this season. And everybody knows, I mean, the rookies played well, but people realize that this is the guy that really makes the pass game go for the Tampa Bay Bucs.
Chat with the head coach, Raheem Norris. Bring the chains across the field. And they got it. First down for the Bucs. Fourth possession of the game for the Bucs. They moved the ball a little bit. They've gotten a couple of first downs, but haven't sustained the long drives and haven't gotten any points on the board as yet. Talk about Josh Freeman. Raheem Morris has settled into his role as head coach. Last year there seemed to be so much on his plate in his first year. He seemed to really handle this well from the start of training camp and into the start of the season. Cadillac Williams in the backfield with Josh Freeman. With time, looking, throwing, and completing to Mike Williams. Into Saints territory down the 48-yard line. Williams continues to be his favorite receiver.
Well, he's just going to bust the cover two right here. Two deep safeties. Look at this throw right to the middle of the field. An in cut by Mike Williams. Just cuts right behind the backers and in front of the safeties. And Josh hit that back foot and just planted. Put some serious velocity on that one.
21 catches this season for the rookie out of Syracuse. 3 wide receivers in. Freeman throws and connects. And it's another first down. Sammy Strawder taking it down to the 33-yard line. Pick up a 15. Good back-to-back, and now hurry up offense.
Oh, I like this. I like this. Watch this play here. Man-to-man coverage, so which means you're going to get a lot of spacing. Look at all the room without defenders for Sammy Strawder. You break one tackle, you're going to get positive yards typically when you spread it out against man.
Gets rid of it quickly, completes to Strawder again, this time to Williams. Mike Williams down to the 22-yard line. That's a first down.
Impressive.
Patrick Robinson covered on the play. 11-yard pickup.
Impressive throw. Remy Adele right in his face. Bailout throw right on the money by Freeman.
For Raheem Morris, the head coach of the Bucs on the right, important offensive possession. He needs some points for his team. They need a lift here. They're down by 17. It's their longest drive of the game, 56 yards, and the deepest penetration into Saints territory. Kareem Huggins in at running back for the Bucs. 3 wide receivers and the tight end Winslow. They pick up the blitz. Freeman throws wide, nobody there. As Spurlock cut inside, the pass went outside.
I think that was as much of a miscommunication on the receiver as it was for the quarterback, because I know that Josh Freeman looked out there and started to shake his head. It looked to me like Spurlock should have ran an out cut rather than an in cut.
Mike Williams comes to the near side with Jabari Greer covering him.
There is no deep safety. Need a post right there. Oh, there goes the safety.
Malcolm Jenkins drops back. Freeman waits. He puts it up deep. There are 2 men there, and it's incomplete, out of bounds. You were right on that. I think Freeman thought he had the one-on-one, and then Jenkins dropped back late.
Well, that's what Greg Williams does to confuse quarterbacks and young quarterbacks. He's going to mug everybody up at the line of scrimmage, making you think you got it deep. Well, you saw that wouldn't have counted anyway because Mike Williams was out of bounds before the ball even got there. But that's what he does, and Greg makes quarterbacks think, oh, there it is. So he lays down the bait, hoping that they'll bite the cheese. Most of the time they do. They run that free safety down the deep middle like you saw right there, and then give help on the perimeter route.
3rd and 10. Parnell Williams in the backfield. 3 wide receivers. Winslow splits out. Pick up the blitz. The pass too high. Intended for Sammy Strawder. Well covered by Lee Torrance. And the field goal kicking unit comes out for the Bucs. Josh Freeman comes off. And Connor Barth, who is 6 for 6 this season. He's got the big mustache, the Wally Fingers mustache.
But
he said he was going to dye it pink.
He's not cutting it till he misses.
Robert Malone is the new holder. This is his first game with the Bucs. This is a 40-yard attempt for This one is off the upright and in, stays out. It stays out.
That hurts.
He had made 12 in a row going back to last season.
That hurts. It starts to want to turn in there. Now listen. Bang.
It started out right and never got that draw going.
There's that mustache.
The Bucs.
That hurts. I mean, that's their best drive by far, and to get no payoff, and then to leave a buck 39 here for New Orleans.
And the Saints will get the ball to start the second half. Lance Moore in as a third wide receiver. Liddell Betts in the backfield. Drew Brees is 10 for 14, 156 yards. And that pass is complete to the tight end, Jeremy Shockey. His first catch of the game, 114 consecutive games with a catch for Jeremy Shockey.
2 timeouts left here for New Orleans. You see the 2 lights lit up there.
Shockey has caught a pass in every game in which he's played in the NFL. Brees waiting, nobody open, and then he throws it away. Too high for Shockey. And incomplete.
I'll tell you what Brees does, and I think that last completion to Shockey was a good example of it, because Rondé Barber had good coverage, but Drew Brees just throws guys open. I mean, that's what he does, and a great throw is going to beat good coverage every time. And he'll put it in unconventional areas, and his receivers know it. Probably one of his best assets, Sam. In terms of when guys are covered, he throws them open and gets a lot of completions that way.
That's in the backfield. Lance Moore, the third wide receiver. Henderson motion. Brees changing the play. Everybody out. And complete to Shockey in Bucs territory. Very close to the first down line. Sean Jones, the safety, with a tackle. Hurry up offense. They mark it 1 yard short. It's 3rd and 1 for the Saints. Quarterback sneak and a first down for the Saints.
Timeout. There you go.
Jonathan Goodwin, the center, leading Brees across the first down line.
Listen to Drew Brees here.
Walker, 90, attack! 52, 52, 52.
That's what you call speaking in code.
Rubbing the arm, giving the signals like the third base coach. He got the message. Boy, Drew Brees has been something. His 5th year with the Saints. He and his wife are expecting their second child probably tomorrow. Though she did say that if she went into labor today, she wouldn't call him and bother him while he's working.
And he said it's going to be another boy. And found a name yet?
No, they're looking for something with a B. They put it up on his Twitter, and got 6,000 responses.
Oh boy.
So they're sorting them all out.
He's been so great in that community down there, and all the things Drew's been able to do is pretty awesome.
Brees being pressured, throws high. Lance Moore was in the neighborhood. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy will have updates on the Atlanta-Philly showdown and Jay Cutler's return to the Bears as the Bears take on the Seattle Seahawks in Chicago. It's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. Saints at the Bucs 46. With 1 timeout remaining, 4 wide receivers in. Everybody out. Brees puts it up deep for Lance Moore, too deep. He was covered by Myron Lewis, who was playing in his first NFL game. He dressed for the opening game of the season, did not play, was inactive the last 3. He's a 3rd-round draft pick out of Vanderbilt. This is his first game action in the NFL.
And more with Rondé playing as a linebacker in their sub-package. It's really a dime defense with 6 DBs, and that's why he's active and ready to go today.
Liddell Betts in for the Saints on 3rd and 10.
I'll tell you one thing, you better get some pressure as this game continues. It's going to be a long day. Drew has not gotten touched yet on 19 pass attempts.
Everybody out. Brees throwing to Colston. Nice grab, and he's out of bounds at the Bucs 33-yard line. That's a first down. Boy, Colston just knew exactly where to go, and Breeze put it right in his hands. 13-yard pickup.
You-to-me factor, and I think the corner falling down had something to do with it. Akeem Talib fell down. Now he got right back up. They had two on Marcus Colston. So they had Cody Grimm on him and Akeem Talib. That's that you-to-me factor. Great confidence with Breeze. That's the hop. One on each. Adele Betts in the backfield. Two.
He was taken in second. Tosses back to Sean Jones, and Bucs, ever the ball hawks. They're 10 interception of the season.
You're going to see interceptions in the middle with tips and overthrow. Time it was a tip by Quincy. I believe 58. Yeah, there's the eyes of the quarterback, Cody Grimm, who's always, Sam, back to training camp, seems to be in the right spot.
Back to Sean Jones for a touchdown last week. He didn't want the ball.
He knows his limitations.
So you take
See
it.
about 12 in the end zone last week. He's thinking, well, I'm 70 this time. I better toss it back. What a great play.
Russ Grimm's son.
No, I don't think it's Russ Grimm's son.
No? Who do you think?
I think it's Mary Grimm's son.
Oh, Mary Grimm's son. Okay. Well, Mary Grimm's son, with some help from Russ, has had interceptions in back-to-back game. So the Bucs do the job of keeping the Saints off the board for the first time in the first half. But a big first half for Drew Brees. The Saints with a 17-0 lead. We've got the Visa halftime report coming up with Michael, Jimmy, Howie, Terry, and Kurt. We've got all the highlights from around the league. They'll get you updated on the big game in Philadelphia with the Falcons and the Eagles. And a look at Jake Cutler's return after being out with a concussion as the Bears are playing the Seahawks in Chicago. First half numbers, oh, look at those rushing yards. Good rushing yards for the Saints. That's what they wanted. But nearly 300 yards of total offense.
And I think the big thing, the run game is what they were looking for. They finally got their first explosive run of the season from Chris Ivory, and got a 20-plus run out of him. But I'm telling you, if they do not get more pressure, that being the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on defense in the second half of this game on Drew Brees, he will slice them apart. Got to get pressure on the QB.
Well, a great day here in Tampa, but the surprise team, the Bucs, have not been a match for the Super Bowl champions. The Saints lost last week. They were upset with the way they lost. They feel that had they played their game, they could be 5-0, but they got off to a fast start right away. A 94-yard drive ended with a 41-yard touchdown pass. And that to Lance Moore.
You'll see it again here. Watch Meacham. Watch him get width here versus that cover two. That's absolutely perfect execution from receiver and quarterback versus that defense.
Saints lead the Bucs at halftime, 17.
Back in Tampa, Drew Brees loosening up. He'll be going on the field very shortly as the Saints will receive the opening kickoff in the second half. Sam Rosen along with Tim Bryant and Nichelle Turner. Saints running the ball very effectively. It's opened up the passing game. The guys talked about it at halftime in the studio, but the run game has looked pretty good for them.
Yeah, it's definitely been a catalyst today. I mean, they came into the game, Sam, today running for 3.3 a carry, one of the worst in the National Football League. They're up over 8 yards today. Chris Ivory has given them a nice punch. We talked about it. They got their first explosive run of the season of 20-plus, and that has opened up the perimeter deep ball, which Brees has been able to hammer it a couple times to those receivers down the sideline for touchdown.
Chris Ivory, 8 carries, 81 yards. Courtney Roby is deep on the kick that bounces to the goal line. Roby on the return. And he is hit and brought down. Might have been Adam Hayward, and it was. Adam Hayward with the tackle at the 7-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Nichelle Turner. Nichelle.
Hey guys, Coach Morris did not talk X's and O's with his team during halftime. He gave them a get tough message. He said this is a young team that needs to learn resiliency. They didn't need to hear about how to play football. They know how to do that. They just need to go out and get tough. Sean Payton, on the other hand, said they've been running the ball well because they've had great blocking. He says the game's been clicking on all cylinders, but he reminded his team we were up big last year. came back and beat us, so we need to keep that intensity. Back to you.
Thanks, Michelle. Saints start from the 8-yard line, first half. They scored on their first 3 possessions, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. The last possession ended it with the interception. Breeze to put it up, swings it out to Chris Ivory, gets a block up front, turns it around, up past the 20, up to the 25. John Stinchcomb was outside with a good block.
No, well-designed play, better executed. Here's the running game from the first half. Between the tackles is where they've been able to do it behind those big offensive guards, Jari Evans and Carl Nix. You see Ivory just straight downhill, and then you'll see one, he bounces it to the outside and is able to get a nice edge out on the perimeter. And Sean Payton told us yesterday, he said if Chris Ivory doesn't have 100 yards today, he's going to be agitated. He's close already at 81 in the first half.
The last play, a little swing pass, picked up 17 from the 25. Keith Evans in the backfield with Julius Jones. It's Jones carrying for a couple of yards. Up to the 28-yard line, Barrett Ruud on the tackle for the Bucs. That offensive line, which has Jonathan Goodwin at center, Jari Evans and Carl Nix, the 2 big guards, and the tackle John Stinchcomb and Javon Bushrod, they've done a real good job. And very little pressure on Drew Brees in the game.
Well, that's the thing. That's been a problem for Tampa, Sam, all year. Only 4 sacks in 4 games, and they haven't gotten a sniff on the quarterback in this one.
3 wide receivers, they hand it to Julius Jones. Trying to get outside, and he's escorted out of bounds by Tino Hayes. Back at the 27. It'll bring up a 3rd down and long. 3rd and 8. Warm day here in Tampa. Beautiful sunshine. About in the mid-80s. 3rd and long coming up for the Saints, who are 5 for 6 on 3rd down conversions in the game.
It's going to be interesting to see if Raheem Morris is going to go to some type of a pressure package, because if you just send 4 and you don't get there, those zones are going to break down in the secondary. Here comes the pressure.
Breeze steps up, hits Colston on the crossing route, and he's got a first down. Marcus Colston coming across the field is knocked out of bounds at the 42, and the Saints pick it up. 15-yard pickup.
Did you see who's covering him? Greg White, a defensive end. Breeze is just not going to miss. He is not going to miss when he sees this type of matchup. Greg White, a defensive end, trying to run with a shallow crossing route on Marcus Colston. No way.
Mismatch.
He's laughing. He's Mark, go ahead. Put a D lineman on him.
Officially 16-yard pickup. Here's the toss to Chris Ivory with a blocker in front of him. He is into Bucs territory. Again, the tackle, Stinchcomb, outside blocking for Chris Ivory.
And a really good block by Dave Thomas, too, the tight end. Watch 85 right here. He's going to get the seal on Michael Bennett. Then the other guys pull and get out in front. See, that's the one that makes it happen. Now there creates a big pile up and a nice running lane there for Chris Ivory.
Picked up 11. He has 92 yards rushing. That's a high for any runner on the Saints in a single game this season. 3 wide receivers. It's Ivory looking for the opening and finds it. Spins his way down. Tackled by Cody Grimm, the safety. If Grimm doesn't make that tackle, Ivory would have been gone.
Yeah, watch what they do again up front. And I want you to watch Goodwin, who's going to get a push on the edge on Roy Miller, number 90. They're trying to slant. Now watch how far he takes him to the sideline. There's the alley. That's just too big of a hole for the linebacker to fill.
And Sean Payton is happy now. He doesn't have to be agitated. Chris Ivory got his 100 yards. He's at 102 on 10 carries. Julius Jones is in. Jones carrying, but 1 tackle gets down to the 30 and first down. Saints go back to the run, and they're running it effectively. The Bucs don't seem to have an answer.
And what they're doing to him now is they are upticking this offense. They've got a very, very good tempo going right now. When you're an experienced offense with a lot of playmakers, and they clearly have that, Sean Payton knows you'll pressure a young defense by going up tempo. That's what they've done here in the 3rd quarter.
At the Bucs 30-yard line, a first down. Dave Thomas, the tight end motions. Off the play fake, Breeze looking and completes it. Robert Meacham, who is out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Breeze so very well. And he gets all his receivers involved. Meacham, Moore, and Colston.
Because they're all interchangeable. That's the beauty of the offense. These guys are so clever, and their football intelligence is through the roof that they can put different guys at different positions and execute the same plays, which does not give any identifiers to the defense about what's coming.
Julius Jones at running back. And a quick toss. The completion and forward progress. The completion Meacham down to the 13. They pick up 5 on the play. And the Saints have really put their game together. Looking for the complete game right now, I would say they played a complete game to this point.
Yeah, look at Drew's passer rating there. And I think most importantly, and Drew has already thrown it over 70% coming into the game. I think most importantly, it's been the run game. There's been a big story here for New Orleans.
3 tight ends in. Jockey, Thomas, and Graham. Leeds throws for Graham, a touchdown! There's a flag on the play. And we're going to check it out. If it stands, it would be Jimmy Graham's first NFL touchdown.
I think they're going to get him with OPI. It looks like they're going to get Jimmy Graham with a push-off.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 80. The 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Replay second down.
Was that a move he learned in basketball?
Well, let's see what he does here. Right at the top end of his route, he's expecting the back shoulder throw. There it is. Just enough of a nudge on the shoulder pad, an overt push on the shoulder pad of Quincy Black, and they're going to get that one every time.
All right. So
that was a good example, though, of Drew Brees throwing guys open. Yeah. Because Quincy Black was in pretty good position, and Drew threw it to the back shoulder. As a matter of fact, Graham didn't even need to push off, and they had a good chance to catch that touchdown.
So the touchdown wiped off. The Saints back to the 23. Liddell Betts in the backfield. It is 2nd and 15. And it's Betts carrying with a couple of good blocks. He gets down to the 15-yard line. Quincy Black makes the tackle on Liddell Betts. And they've rotated the 3 backs that they've used in the game. Liddell Betts, Julius Jones, and Chris Ivory. Ivory's had a tremendous game, a career game for him. With 10 carries, 102 yards. Jones with 26, and Betts with 15. 6 defensive backs in for the Bucs.
See if those red zone woes continue for New Orleans.
11th play of the drive. Have to get to the 8-yard line for a first down. Brees throws to the end zone. Incomplete. Shockey had it for a moment, and as he fell down, he dropped it. Barrett Ruby is covering on the play.
And Barrett knows it's coming. I talked to Barrett about this. He goes, when you're in good coverage, you just got to make plays with your head turned to the quarterback. There's the seam route right there. Now, he's in great shape, and he knows it's going to come right over his shoulder. You see him put his hand up right there? As Shockey gave him the cue, Shockey turned, his eyes got big, he put his hands up. Barrett, not even seeing the quarterback, knew it was coming over his shoulder. He put his hands up. Shockey couldn't hang on.
Garrett Hartley, 33-yard try, hooked it, he missed. That's not going to be a good thing. Sean Payton let John Carney go early in the week. Carney may be brought back to help tutor Hartley.
Sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By Lexus. This is the pursuit of tomorrow. This is the pursuit of perfection. And by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you.
Garrett Hartley seems to have lost his groove, and they're trying to find the back, give him confidence. John Carney released this week. Sean Payton felt that Garrett Hartley will be our kicker for a long time, and here he misses a 33-yarder. On first down, Freeman connects with Mike Williams up to the 28-yard line. A pickup of 5 on the play.
And this is an easy read for Josh Freeman, and I'll tell you why. He's got both of his receivers to the left. Who do they match up on the slot? They put a linebacker on him. That right there is the easy indicator that someone's dropping into zone coverage. The receivers read it perfectly. Mike Williams on a little slant stop route. Easy pickup for 5 or 6 yards.
Eric Morick lines up at fullback ahead of Cadillac Williams in the backfield. Kellen Winslow motions. Here's Williams carrying.
There you go, there you go, there you
Not
go.
much there. Boy, it was stretched out by the front line of the New Orleans Saints, and then Jolon Dunbar came up to make the tackle. That man, number 51. There's Dunbar, made the tackle. Jonathan Vilma is the quarterback of the defense. He's the man who's on the same wavelength as the defensive coordinator, Greg Williams.
He's the heart and soul of this defense, and he's back where he belongs in the 4-3 defense where he started with the Jets. And you're absolutely right. Greg said he speaks my language. I know he speaks about 7 or 8 languages, but as long as he speaks mine, he's a very, very good player.
On third down, empty backfield, they split the running back, Kareem Huggins out to the right. Everybody out. Freeman gets time, completes to Huggins. And he's brought down. First reception in the NFL for the first year back out of Oscar, Kareem Huggins.
Yeah, and he's down. It looked like Marvin Mitchell put his shoulder pad right on his knee as he caught the ball and turned around. Oh, what a shame.
Oh, he's in some pain, serious pain, to be checked out. Great day on Fox. We've got a second game here in our Fox NFL doubleheader. Both teams are 1-3. Crucial game for the Cowboys and the Vikings. Both teams were expected to be playoff teams. Big one coming up following this. The NFL on Fox. Huggins limping to the bench. He'll be checked out by the medical staff. Caroline Williams back in at running back. First down for the Bucs at the 35. The toss for the end around. It's Aurelius Ben, the rookie wide receiver. It's across the 40-yard line. They'll spot it right at the 40. Pick up a 4 on the play. What a day on Fox. The NFL doubleheader, and we cap it off with the NLCS. Game 2 of the National League Championship Series, the Giants and the Phillies.
Big win for the Giants last night, a resilient team, and about the top 3 in the rotation, Sam, for Philadelphia.
I like them. You got Oswald today, Holiday, even though he lost. Cole Hamels. Mike Williams splits out on the right side. Motion Jeremy Stevens, 2 tight ends hit. Winslow the other tight end. Freeman going high up for grabs, batted away by Jabari Greer. Intended for Mike Williams. And they like Williams to go up and get the ball. He's been doing that thus far this season.
Will Smith with good pressure, and then you'll see Vilma come with the secondary pressure. Jonathan is so good at reading the protection and coming really on a delayed blitz. He's able to get the hit on Josh, and Josh will just put it up now when he knows he's got Mike Williams out there. Which is really unusual when you got a rookie receiver, but Josh said when he's out there and I'm in trouble, I'll put it up, trusting that he'll either go get it or he'll play defense and knock it down.
3rd and 6, 3 wide receivers. Kellen Winslow splitting off. Freeman with time, throwing from Mike Williams, incomplete, flag on the play.
They're going to get Roman Harper and pass interference, I believe, on Kellen Winslow. That's what it looked like to me. Winslow was trying to get down the slot, or down the seam, excuse me, runs a double move and is headed for the corner, and Roman Harper looked like he grabbed
Holding.
defensive holding.
Defense, number 41. It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, that's a big penalty on a 3rd down play.
There's Kelly. He's going to stutter inside and then try to take it back outside. It was away from the pass, and it happened before the ball was in the air, Sam. That's why it ended up being defensive holding. Ends up being an automatic first down.
Bucs at the 45. Still looking for their first points of the game. Cadillac Williams in the backfield. 3 wide receivers. John Gilmore is the tight end. Rush 4, the quick release, a little too high for Mike Williams. Again, Jabari Greer covering on the play. The Saints have a couple of injured secondary players, and when they get them back, they will be awfully deep. Darren Sharper, who's on the PUP, unable to perform, but he's going to start practicing with the team. And Tracy Porter, the Super Bowl hero, is also out. When they get back, boy, they will have some depth at defensive back.
Yeah, and Darren is phenomenal what he does. I'll tell you, though, Malcolm Jenkins has really played well this season, making the switch to free safety. And I think Mike Williams, those last 2 throws, yeah, they were a little high from Josh Freeman. But I think he was feeling like he was going to have a blowout shot if he caught him. Play linebacker and safety.
Cadillac Williams was fighting for an extra yard. He got popped, and the ball flew out. Now, let's see.
And the Saints are just ripping at it, tearing at it. I think it was the hit by Roman Harper, the last and final hit that knocked it out.
The officials trying to crawl into the pile to see who's got the ball.
Oh, it was definitely.
And the Saints have it.
Oh. I think it was that body rocking shot, the last one by Roman Harper, Sam, that knocked it out in the pile.
Marvin Mitchell with the recovery. And a big turnover with the Bucs moving. Cadillac fighting. The ball pops out. The scramble follows. And Mitchell gets it.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Visa. More people go with Visa.
Jonathan Sanchez for the Giants. Roy Oswalt for the Phillies. Game 2 of the NLCS. Tonight after football, Joe Buck and Tim McCarver call it. The Giants leading the series 1-0 after their 4-3 win last night. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Capping off a great day here on Fox. 9th takeaway of the season, 5th fumble recovery of the season for the Saints. They have it at the Bucs, 46. Julius Jones cuts it back. Nice run in his first game with the Saints. Down to the 40-yard line, he picked up 6. Tim Crowder starting for the injured Kyle Moore.
And they are just hammering it straight downhill between the tackles at those young defensive tackles.
Saints have run for 152 yards in the game, their best game of the season on the ground. Nearly 400 yards total offense.
And here's the problem. I mean, they've tried everything up front. If the defensive tackles just stand pat and try to take the guys on and have gap integrity, they're getting moved. If they try to crash and stun, they're getting washed down the line of scrimmage. They are unmatched, Sam, on the inside right now.
Zach Street for tackle is eligible on the right side, cutting it back. Chris Ivory, good run for a first down to the 33-yard line.
Chris Ivory on the carry.
And now, it's a pleasure to welcome in from our studio the coach, Jimmy Johnson, as our third-man analyst. Jimmy, what are you seeing from the Saints today that's kind of turned things around for them?
Well, a couple of things. I think, first of all, they listened to Terry Bradshaw on the pregame show. He told Breeze, he said, go deep. Breeze is throwing it deep. The other thing is, it looks like they have solved their running back problems because, with Reggie Bush and Pierre Thomas out, now they tried different players in there. Chris Ivory's running the ball pretty good. And, those backs are so important for the checkdowns and the screens and then running the ball.
And this swing pass, Julius Jones stays in bounds. Nice gain down to the 27. Tim?
Well, Jimmy, I think, you talk about the running game, and Ivory already up over 100 today, but a big part of that, I don't care who's running the ball, is that those offensive guards and that offensive line. And I was just talking about it. Those young defensive tackles today for the Buccaneers have been outmatched. I mean, the New Orleans Saints have really owned those A-gaps up on the inside.
Yeah, you look at Tampa, and obviously their strength of schedule the last few weeks hadn't been as difficult as playing the New Orleans Saints, but they're doing some good things. I mean, they're still protecting the ball, so I think they're going to be all right in the future.
Once again, Julius Jones, this time he got hit at the line of scrimmage. Picked up maybe a yard on the play. Interesting that Jimmy Jones, who played so well in Dallas, then went on to Seattle. Here in his first game, he's actually looked pretty good and fit right in with the Sean Payton scheme, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think because of his experience of being in Dallas and Seattle, and plus he's a pretty good receiver as far as a back out of the backfield.
There's a big third down play. It's Chris Ivory and a big hole. Ivory bounces off a man. They wrestle him down at the 11-yard line. Again, another outstanding run for Chris Ivory.
And take a look at this play right here. And again, it's going to be straight downhill. I want you to watch the block by Jari Evans and Carl Nix. Look at Jari Evans. There is no chance. Right there for the young defensive tackle. Carl Nix takes him down, washes him inside, and Ivory keeping those legs running. Impressive.
Saints with a 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. After the turnover, the fumble recovery. Threatening to score. Here's Ivory trying to get outside. Couple of yards. Ball comes loose but goes out of bounds and remains in possession Saints. Jimmy, in watching the Saints again, the way they're playing this game, we talked to Drew Brees and the coaching staff last night, and all they talk about is getting the best and surprising efforts defensively from every team they face. You recall trying to defend your championship and what it was like in that second year?
Well, you know everybody's going to give you their best shot, and they spend the off season preparing for those top teams. So they have studied the Saints. They know how to play them.
Ball spotted at the original line of scrimmage. Brees with time, completes it inside the 5 to Marcus Colston, down at the 4-yard line.
Hey, Coach, other than health, in your mind, and you guys were able to do it back-to-back, what's the key to staying hungry and getting a championship, a Super Bowl 2 years in a row?
I think the biggest thing, and I talked to Greg Williams about this in the offseason, is everybody's got to keep the team concept, because when you have success, you know, every individual says, look, I didn't get my share, I didn't get my accolades, I didn't get my money.
There's another big third down play. Saints have been 7 for 9 on third down conversions. Brees with time, throws to Heath Evans, touchdown! Jimmy, there's a good example right there of using everybody. That time they used the fullback out of the backfield, and they spread it around pretty well.
Yeah, they're doing everything. Just like on their screens earlier on, they used Jimmy Graham, the rookie tight end. So they're doing a lot of different things with different people with the absence of Reggie Bush. They've got to do that because Reggie's such a big mismatch.
How does the fullback get so open, Jimmy, down on the goal line?
Well, you're so focused on trying to stop the run, you lose a fullback going out in the flat. A lot of times it's going to be a linebacker or even a defensive end trying to pick him up. They lost him.
Jimmy, thanks for being with us. Always great to get your insights, and we'll look for you later on the post-game show. Saints have a 24-0 lead.
See, I got the arrow there on the touchdown. Barrett Roode has got Heath Evans in coverage, the fullback, and watch what happens to him. Bang, he gets picked off right there by Dave Thomas. That gives the leverage to Heath Evans. As Coach Jimmy Johnson said, a lot of times on the goal line, you end up with fullbacks and linebackers matched up on each other. That's exactly what happened. Barrett Roode, one of the better ones in coverage, got picked by the tight end.
Garrett Hartley kicks it off. Preston Parker from the goal line on the return. Avoided one man, gets tripped up and falls forward to the 20-yard line. Preston Parker on the return. Great day of football. Doubleheader day on the NFL on Fox, and it's capped off tonight with Game 2 of the NLCS. Don't miss it. Patrick Robinson, the last player picked in the first round of the draft, 32. First round pick of the Saints. Went to Gulliver Prep in Miami, same school that the late Sean Taylor went to. You know how Greg very close to Sean Taylor, yeah. But they have high hopes that Patrick Robinson will be a very good defensive back for the Saints. On first down, 3 wide receivers in, pressure on Freeman. He gets it up, and it's complete to Sammy Strawder. Strawder got open, and he's up to the 48-yard line. Malcolm Jenkins with a stop. That's a good throw.
It's a good throw, and watch the man coverage. I mean, he just ends up getting picked. Lee Torrance gets picked by Michael Spurlock. And that's just a good design play and well executed. And you said it, the throw was perfect.
27-yard pickup. 3 wide receivers stay in. Hurry up offense for the Bucs. Quick outside, complete to Kellen Winslow. Comes back to the inside, stumbled and falls forward to the Saints 45-yard line.
We just talked about Patrick Robinson, and we wanted to have early eyes on the young corner.
And that's Jabari Greer down on the field, shaken up on the play. Greer made the stop on Kellen Winslow. He gets up and he seems like he's okay. That's good. Holding his left arm, though, close to his body.
Back to what I was saying, we had early eyes on Patrick Robinson at the start of the game, something to look out for, and he's played nicely, no question about it. I think we could say the same thing for Jeremy Zutak, the center, who we also put early eyes on for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, it hasn't been great in the run game when you look at the yards, but there's been no sacks so far in the football game, and there's been a lot of different looks from Greg Williams, and we talked about that getting into the head of Jeremy Zutov and how he would react. From the neck up, he's been very, very good through the first 3 quarters of this game.
Lee Torrance replaces Jabari Greer and is covering Mike Williams on this 2nd and 3. Cadillac Williams in the backfield with Josh Freeman. Quick outside, and Spurlock caught it and was dropped immediately by Patrick Robinson. That's a quick close by the rookie cornerback.
That's film study. That's sitting in the film room and understanding what they're going to do versus that down and distance. Man coverage, he sniffed it out and blew it up for a tackle for loss.
End of the 3rd quarter, it's still all Saints, 24-0. Back in Tampa, Sam Rosen, Tim Ryan, Nichelle Turner. Glad you're with us as we start the 4th quarter. The New Orleans Saints with a 24-0 lead on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Saints win would move them ahead of Tampa Bay in the standings in the NFC South, and Atlanta is trailing big in Philadelphia. That's 28-10. So the Saints have a chance to tie for first place in the division. Here's a big 3rd down play, 3rd and 5. Play clock. They get it off. Freeman has time. Throws over the middle, and Winslow had stopped, and the ball went sailing over his head. It's covered by Marvin Mitchell.
See that dance move I just did right there?
It's a 4th and 5 coming up as you look at the numbers through 3 quarters. Tampa Bay has not been able to run the ball. This is the best running game of the season for the New Orleans Saints, who have racked up 431 yards total offense.
You can bet they'll have 2 on Kellen Winslow here.
Bucs going for it on 4th down.
See if they attack the rookie corner at the top with a slant route.
And now Josh Freeman decides to call a timeout. A lot of confusion as he checked over the defense. Bucs call timeout with a 4th and 5, trailing 24-0.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. By Chevrolet. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty. And by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Back here in Tampa, 4th and 5. The Bucs are 1 for 2 on 4th down attempts this season. They need to keep this drive going.
This has been an ugly wake-up call for Tampa here in Week 6. As good as this season has gone early for them.
Freeman. With time, he throws and completes to Kellen Winslow. Mr. Reliable as far as Josh Freeman is concerned. Winslow with a good grab and a 1st down at the 34-yard line.
And they had 2 on him, Usama Young and Jolon Dunbar. Bucs ran a crossing route versus that man coverage with help over the top. Freeman threaded the needle perfectly for the 1st down.
Bucs go no huddle with 3 wide receivers. Cadillac Williams picked up the blitz. The pass complete to Kellen Winslow. Roman Harper made the tackle. Winslow with a gain down to the 29. He's going against a lot of the time Jonathan Vilma. They were good, close friends. They still are close friends at the University of Miami. They battled against one another in practice. And Greg Williams was set to give it to Jonathan Vilma to put the challenge on him to take care of Kellen Winslow in the game. Freeman throwing short, and the ball comes loose. And that's a fumble. And again, the Saints going after the ball.
No, he was down, I think, Sam. By the time Malcolm Jenkins ripped it out, I believe that he was already on the ground.
No signal that they will let the play continue, though, Tim. And I think, let's see. Yes, the Saints ball.
Yeah, this is going to get reviewed. This will definitely get reviewed, I would think. At least from the way I saw it up here. Okay, here it is. There's the ball. He's got control. He's got control. I think that right knee is down.
rips it out. Sammy Strada had it ripped out of his hands. Raheem Morris trying to make the decision whether to challenge or not. I think he was waiting for some kind of word from upstairs, from his people. And now he throws the challenge flag. So he will challenge. The ruling on the field is a fumble. It's recovered by the Saints. Malcolm Jennings with a recovery.
Yeah, Malcolm Jenkins is the one that ripped it out and recovered it. And I don't know if we're going to see anything conclusive. That's the best angle right there. No question about it.
Tampa Bay is challenging the ruling on the field of a complete catch and a fumble.
And the key is the football, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it here, is it coming loose before that right knee gets to the ground? Okay, right knee down. Is that ball coming loose? Hard to tell with all the dark colors. The right knee is definitely down. Looks like he still
has the ball.
Got the ball right there in his hand.
My apologies for saying Malcolm Jennings, Malcolm Jenkins.
Yeah.
The man who made the play and the recovery. And it's ruled a fumble on the field. So they have to find definitive evidence to overturn it.
And that's just the way Greg Williams coaches. I mean, look at Malcolm. He's making the tackle. He's got the tackle secured with one arm. He's ripping it out with the other, and then he's the guy that recovers it.
And right now, we're going to bring in our man from our studios in Los Angeles, the man who knows what officiating is all about, Mike Pereira. Mike, what did you see on that play?
Hey, Sam and Tim, I think it's an incomplete pass. I don't think it's really an issue of a catch fumble.
Oh, really?
He's contacted before he's going to the ground, and he's got to hold on to the ball when he hits the ground. So to me, in replay, I think you've got to look at this and reverse it completely to an incomplete pass. I don't think the issue of the catch down by contact is really going to come into play. See, he's contacted before he got 2 feet to the ground. Now, if you're watching here, ball's going to come out as he's going to the ground. I don't think he's completed the process of the catch.
Interesting.
So in my opinion, I think they got to look at this and make this an incomplete pass.
And once, Mike, they go under for review, everything's game, right? I mean, it's not just reviewing
everything.
That. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely right, Tim. You know, everything's reviewable. That is under the context of replay. If they saw there were 12 men on the field in defense, I mean, they could create a penalty there. But even though this is a challenge of a catch down by contact, I think they're going to first look. I would hope they're showing Cleat just the process of the catch and saying, hey, this can't be a catch. You're going to reverse this to an incomplete pass. Challenge. They'll win the challenge because you actually reversed a portion of the play, but it's not going to be the outcome that was originally sought.
That's a good point, Mike. Will that be suggested to Cleat Blakeman from upstairs, that to look at the possibility of an incomplete pass? Will that suggest?
Yes, Sam, absolutely. Absolutely. I think the replay assistant, if they're really on top of this, and you hope that they are, he's going to say to Cleat, hey, even before we get to this, before we get to the down by contact portion, let's see did he complete the catch. And if they go to incomplete there, then it's going to be over, and that's going to be the end of the discussion.
Thanks, Mike.
We just put a lot of pressure on him. I know that.
Cleat Blakeman coming out.
Stay in here, guys. I come back.
And we will get the ruling from our referee.
After review, it is an incomplete pass. The receiver did not maintain control of the ball.
There we go.
Therefore, it'll be third down from the previous spot. And would you please put 13:49 on the play clock, game clock. 13:49. Tampa Bay is not charged with a timeout.
As usual, Mike, you got it right.
You're so good. Thanks, Mike.
Good job, and we love your tie, by the way, too. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, I'm big and pink.
Mike Pereira clarifying the entire play from the moment he stepped on camera. It is an incomplete pass. So the ball remains in possession of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'll tell you, a big asset of Josh Freeman. We've seen it a few times with him throwing over the middle now, as he's so big, and he's every bit of 6'5", maybe over that, as he can see over all those trees up in front of him. So it's really easy pickings for him with traffic up in front of him to find those receivers on those shallow crossing routes over the middle.
3 wide receivers. On 3rd and 5. Freeman lofts it for Cadillac Williams, incomplete.
Carnell Williams tries to come back to it. The defender never turns his head and runs into Cadillac before the ball gets there or simultaneous. I think New Orleans got away with one there. I think Cadillac had a good point.
Connor Barnes tries from 47. He missed earlier from 40. That's the second time he's hit the upright. 2 field goal tries and both have hit the upright. That's the worst sound.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty.
Back here in Tampa, that's Connor Barnes.
No. Got to tune up the mustache. Maybe that's the problem.
Get it a little tighter. Saints take over at their own 37. Their 7th possession of the game. They've scored on 4. They've had a missed field goal and an interception. Blitz from Rondé Barber. Just missed them. Breeze gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. Down the field is Derek Henderson. Rondé Barber, a man who's had 39 sacks in his career.
And there he is here, coming off the edge. Gonna run right around Jamon Bushrod, turn on the heat. Now, Drew very, very good at stepping up in the pocket. Rondé is such a special player. I mean, you think of those numbers, what he's been able to achieve. He's played everywhere. He's been in the slot. He's been in the perimeter. Today, we've seen him playing will linebacker, weak side linebacker in their sub package. What a stud.
He's had 25 sacks and 39 interceptions in his career. Zach Strief is ineligible. They hand it off inside to Julius Jones. Not much there. Let's find out what's happening in Philadelphia with the Eagles and the Falcons. Here's Kurt.
What might be happening is another quarterback controversy. Kevin Cobb has been brilliant against the Falcons today, hooking up with Jeremy Maclin for an 83-yard score. Second touchdown for Maclin, but listen to Cobb's numbers today. 20 of 26, 292 yards, and 3 touchdowns through 3 quarters. Oh, by the way, they're up 28-10. Sam and Tim, you can already hear Andy Reid have an answer in the postgame press conference.
Yeah, that was my question. Is he ready for another waffle yet? Is he going to waffle on that quarterback like he did last time and saying it was going to be Cobb and then last minute changing his mind to Vic?
Odell Betts in, 3rd and 11. Breeze throws the screen pass. Oh, Odell Betts, big hit, big collision. And Betts is brought down to 42 short of the first down.
Look at what Drew Brees has done in terms of his ball location and where he's throwing today. And see there, you got left, middle, and right. And look at what he's done to the right. And both of the long touchdowns, 181 yards. To Lance Moore and Meacham were to the right side against Tampa's best corner, Akeem Talib.
First punt of the game for the Saints. Thomas Morstead is in. Michael Spurlock is deep. For the Bucs, he returned a long one. A game back in December of last season. Lets this one bounce. Bounces sideways, comes back. And the Saints are able to down it. Bucs will get the ball at the 12-yard line. Down by 24. On the Bucs side, it's been a disappointing day. Barber along the sideline there. Bucs start from the 12-yard line. 5 defensive backs in for the Saints. Freeman got rid of it to Cadillac Williams out of the backfield. Turns it into a nice gain as he gets up to the 27-yard line. That's a first down. Malcolm Jenkins with the stop. Don't forget, second game of our Fox NFL doubleheader coming up with the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings in Minneapolis. Tony Romo and the Cowboys need a win. So do Brett Favre and Randy Moss of the Minnesota Vikings. Out of the shotgun. Freeman's pass almost intercepted. Malcolm Jenkins stepping in front of the tight end, Kellen Winslow. Broke up the play,
and he knew he had it too. I mean, Malcolm knew that if he wanted to get that, after the fact, he could have had it. Instead, he just stuck out his left arm and got a break up. I think in his mind, if he'd have broke a little harder, it would have hit him right between the 2 and the 7.
Saints have Pearson Prelo in at center, replacing Roman Harper. Usama Young is also in at safety. The
Josh Freeman is still impressive to me. Watch him as he hits his back foot. He's such a good decision maker. Back foot out, which tells me his pre-snap read is right. He's not seeing anything post-snap that's confusing him. Everything coming out on time, making quick decisions, seeing the blitz. Has not been sacked and has only been knocked down a couple of times in this game today. He sees it quick and gets it out quick, Sam.
20 for 36, 185 yards. No interceptions. He completes this one to Kellen Winslow. Lost the football, but I think the Bucs have it back. The lineman trailing the play, and that was Trueblood, Jeremy Trueblood, the right tackle, was able to recover the fumble. That was knocked loose by Marvin Mitchell.
Well, and that's why you play snap to whistle all over the field, no matter the position, and Trueblood does it here. Winslow's going to get it batted out. He just loses it, and then you're going to see Trueblood, who's hustling down the field, 65 right there, pounces on it and gets a recovery.
5 catches, 33 yards for Kellen Winslow on short stuff. Bring out the chains for the measurement here. And it's enough for the first down.
I'll tell you, and to me, it's kind of a mystery of why this offensive line in the run game has not been better, because I think they're pretty good up front when you watch them play. Kareem Huggins got hurt today. There's the guy I would like to see get more carries, Ernest Graham. And we saw him a couple years ago as the feature back and had a very, very good season. I think he's his own best blocker. He breaks tackles, and he doesn't touch the ball, Sam, nearly enough in this offense.
I agree with you. Now it's late to start running the ball, but earlier in the game, they really weren't running it as well either. Everybody out. Freeman hit as he throws. Got it to Cadillac Williams. Great move to turn it into a first down. That was a really good move by Cadillac Williams. And again, Freeman hanging in there, staying in there, took the hit, and made the completion for 13.
Yeah, great move by Alex Brown. Watch him dip up and inside of Trueblood. Whap. And there's Josh off his back foot again, on target with accuracy.
No huddle offense. Ball at midfield. Bucs started at their 12. Freeman. And that pass is incomplete. That was dropped by Sammy Strawner as Patrick Robinson was trying for the interception, but he missed. Don't forget, big second game of our doubleheader is coming up. For more on that, let's go to Kurt Menefee.
It is, Sam, America's game of the week, and it comes your way when you are done. Randy Moss and the Vikings desperate for a win, but then again, so too are the Dallas Cowboys. Both teams come in at 1-3, needing a win if they have any hope of making it to the postseason. It comes your way at the conclusion of your game in Tampa. Sam and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. The return of Randy Moss to Minnesota. His second game with the Vikings, first back at home. That pass was tipped and goes incomplete. I believe Will Smith may have gotten a piece of that.
Back to that later matchup between Minnesota and Dallas. Hope Favre's arm holds up, that elbow. That's a story that I don't think anybody's talking enough about this week. Clearly that was bothering him in that Monday night matchup.
What some people have suggested is he talked about the elbow to try and get all the emphasis off his personal matters.
What are you talking about?
Okay. Here's Freeman being pressured and chased. Runs, picks up a couple of yards, got hit out of bounds.
Yeah, he sure did.
That's a penalty.
And hit low by Malcolm Jenkins.
That should not have happened. And you can see the Bucs react. They felt that was a dirty play. And
the quarterbacks, you see throw guys around. You see Josh? He's telling Malcolm. He's salty now. You watch here as he's going out of bounds. You'll see 27. Well, to his defense, and that's clearly late, but to his defense, it looked like Malcolm was already down and selling out to make the hit before Josh had stepped out of bounds. See, he's already going down there and kind of stumbled, it looked like, as Freeman was going out, but well called by the official. I do not think it was on purpose, Sam, by Malcolm Jenkins. But Josh isn't having it either way.
There are 2 fouls against the defense on the play. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit out of bounds, number 27. That'll be assessed 15 yards from the end of the run. In addition, another unsportsmanlike, unnecessary roughness, personal foul, defense, number 27, for a late hit
walked it off. Big yardage against the Saints. 30 yards in penalties.
I think obviously the first one was the late hit out. And here's I believe the second one right there, the punch on Josh Freeman.
So when Freeman got up close with Malcolm Jenkins let him have it with a left. Cadillac Williams came in there.
You know, I'm surprised, and I've seen it a few times this year, guys swinging punches and hitting guys. That's an automatic ejection. That is an automatic ejection, and we haven't seen that this year. I've seen 3 or 4 guys on this season swinging at guys and actually hitting guys. And the flag gets thrown, but they do not get sent to the locker room.
Jenkins is fortunate he's still in the game. The ball has been spotted down at the 17-yard line. He might get some supplementary punishment from Malcolm Jenkins during the week from the league office. And take some money out of his wallet. Nevertheless, the game moves on as Sean Payton got the words from the officials. And the Bucs, who threatened to score twice and wound up with 2 field goal tries, hitting the upright. That's the best they've been able to do in the game. They need to get it in the end zone. Freeman gets time. Throwing short, completing it to Kellen Winslow. Winslow down to the 11-yard line. 7th catch of the game for Kellen Winslow.
Brought down by number 99, Jimmy Wilkerson.
Short stuff.
Gain of 6.
But the Bucs have been able to move the ball from their own 12-yard line with 30 yards in penalties help. Jimmy Wilkerson and Anthony Hargrove in at the tackles for the Saints. Freeman drops it off to Cadillac Williams to the 5 and down to the 2-yard line. Another first down. It'll be 1st and goal for the Bucs. Marvin Mitchell getting a lot of playing time. And Malcolm Jenkins with the stop. And Greg Williams sends in the calls for the Saints defense.
I'd like to see Josh Freeman get out on the edge here and have a run-pass option and use his legs. Because you know they're going to be throwing a bracket on Calvin. Or, excuse me, on Kellen.
3 wide receivers. Kellen Winslow tight end to the right side. Cadillac Williams carries. Gets the block. Goes to the goal line. And just short. They're going to spot him just short of the goal line.
Looked like he crossed the plane from up here, but clearly his knee was down before the ball got there. You see right there, he actually lost the ball.
2nd and goal at the 1.
2nd and goal. Cadillac is tackled for a loss. Malcolm Jenkins burst in there and stopped him in the backfield. What a play by Jenkins.
He is just going to crash right here. Unblocked, terrific play. Again, I think they got to get some type of run-pass option for Freeman out on the edge.
It's 3rd and goal at the 2.
Use those legs to your benefit. He's 260 pounds.
13th play of this drive. Jeremy Stevens is in as the only tight end. Freeman fakes, wants to carry himself, can't get started. Somebody got hold of his feet, he never could get his feet moving.
It was
Marvin Mitchell.
It absolutely was. And it's Cadillac Williams tries to chop him down. Marvin Mitchell is coming up through the C gap. Cadillac tries to chop him down. He gets back up and grabs Josh's legs. You see, he gets chopped right there, grabs a leg, and now he's not letting go. He's going to wait for his help. Then they corral him. You see, Cadillac chops him right there, takes the leg out. Now he's just going to grab the right ankle, and he's hanging on. A design quarterback draw, though, clearly a run for Josh Freeman.
Here's 4th and goal from the 2. Kellen Winslow back in at tight end. 3 wide receivers. Freeman being rushed, throws into the end zone. Touchdown! Michael Spurlock.
with Josh Freeman, even in this losing effort, as lopsided as it is. Watch where this throw is with the accuracy, and Freeman is throwing it off of his back foot with guys in his face. You can't throw it any better. I am convinced Josh Freeman, with that arm strength, can really throw from any platform in terms of his footwork. Fundamentally, mechanically, he does not have to be right.
They will go.
He can still have terrific accuracy, Sam.
They will go for 2. Looking for 8 points on each touchdown, if they can get them. Freeman fade into the corner, and it's batted away by Patrick Robinson. Good defensive play by the rookie cornerback, but the Bucs finally break through. 88-yard drive ends with a touchdown catch by Michael Spurlock. Well, will he or won't he? Connor Barth will kick it off.
I know New
Will he try
Orleans.
the onside?
New Orleans is expecting it. They've got their hands unit out there.
Right up there to the right is Marcus Colston. And they've got the guys up front. Ready. 7 men.
Tell you
up
what's
front.
interesting, Sam, is those 2 field goals are now big. And when you think about it, it'd be a 2-score game. If they had 6 more points on the board with plenty of time left, not impossible.
Lance Moore is out there. Marcus Colston out there. Liddell Betts is out there. Heath Evans. They're ready. Let's see what Connor Barth does. He tries the outsider, and it was almost recovered by the Bucs. They battled for it. Oh, it was just missed.
I think someone was offsides, too. I see a flag back at the 30.
Oh, they're still going. They're still pushing it. Dakota Watson, a rookie linebacker, number 56. He's shoved about 3 different Saints.
Yeah, somebody was offsides, too. I believe it was Cody Grimm.
The Saints have recovered.
No, it was Corey Lynch who was offside.
Okay. Matt Giordano recovers this fumble. He was signed this week.
No, that's not
Offside.
offsides.
Kicking team number 41. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down, New Orleans.
Yeah, he was very, very close. And then he still can't field it. Corey Lynch.
And Giordano is a good special teams player. Signed this week. With the safety issues and need for some players on special teams, Giordano comes in and recovers the onside kick. Don't forget, coming up next, game 2 of our Fox NFL doubleheader, the Cowboys and the Vikings. And we cap off a great day of sports action with game 2 of the NLCS, National League Championship Series, the Giants and the Phillies in Philadelphia. From the 45 of the Bucs, Chris Ivory with a good carry down to the 38-yard line. A huge day for the rookie back out of Tiffin College. Started out at Washington State, transferred to Tiffin College, and they found this young man and signed him as a free agent after the draft.
And not only does he have speed, we know he's got that. We've seen him hit the perimeter a couple of times today for some big pops, but he's got unusual power as well. I've seen him break some tackles from the big fellas on the inside and picking up extra yards. Terrific day for him.
Backup tackle, Zach Strief is on the right side. He's eligible. Ivory carrying. There's a hole there. He stays on his feet.
See that?
Beautiful cutback. Great run all the way down to the 11-yard line. What a day for Chris Ivory. And the Saints have found themselves a running back, but now he comes up limping.
And he broke 3 or 4 tackles on this run. And this is where they've been running it all day. Right here. Right down the middle. Stinchcomb with a really good block. Here comes Carl Nix. There's 1 broken tackle. There's 2 broken tackles. There's 3 broken tackles. There's 4 broken tackles.
27-yard run for Chris Ivory, who's 15 carries, 159 yards in the game. Limp to the sideline. Julius Jones is replaced him. Jones to the 10. There's a flag down, 2 flags down in the end zone. And we'll check out what happened.
12 men on the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Try to sneak an extra guy out there.
You know what? When they were running the ball so well, they needed some extra help. As you look at Chris Ivory on the sideline. What a day
64
for the rookie running back.
64 is eligible.
And you can't imagine as they start to get that run game juiced up, and they've done it today, how much that opens up everything for Drew Brees, especially where he typically attacks. We haven't seen it today. A lot of it's been on the perimeter. Usually Drew is right down in between the numbers, crushing defenses through the air.
Streaked in and eligible again. Carrying the Liddell Betts straight ahead. Getting down to the 2-yard line.
Liddell Betts on the carry.
We'll bring up 2nd and goal.
Remember I was talking earlier about Freeman and how big he is in the pocket and how he can see over guys. Watch Drew Brees at only 6'1". He is getting up on his toes on almost every throw. Little jump pass right there. He's going to get up and open up his vision point by getting taller. You'll see it here. Up on his toes again. And that, I mean, he uses every bit of it to his advantage. You get up, make yourself about 6'3" up on your tiptoes, and I don't think there's anybody better in understanding where to move up, where to swim up into the pocket in terms of the open throwing lane.
Off the fake, Brees looking into the end zone, waiting, throwing for Julius Jones out of bounds, and the ball dropped incomplete. The Saints with the big lead, time winding down, and tomorrow, in all likelihood, Drew's wife will be induced, and they will celebrate the birth of their 2nd child. They want a name with a B in it and 2 syllables because Brees is a 1-syllable name. His wife feels that a 2-syllable name for the first name should be the best. We'll see.
You know what would be good? Burt's Brees.
Down to the 1-yard line goes Julius Jones. That'll bring up that was a first down. First down, it's a 1st and goal for the Saints. Zach Streif in again, eligible on the right side, back up right tackle. Eligible as an end. Streif lines up to the left side. 1st and goal at the 1.
They got 12 on the field again, it looks like.
And they took a timeout to get him off. Late coming off the field. It would have been too many men on the field to call a timeout. You can see how upset Raheem Morris is.
Well, he should be. It's been a sloppy game for his football team today. They've been the cleanest team in the league through the first 5 weeks of the season, Sam. They got 9 penalties on the day today.
Today is a historical day for that man, Rondé Barber. A great 14-year career, 172 consecutive starts. He broke the record previously held by an all-time great, Dick LeBeau, with the Detroit Lions from 1959 to 1972. Now the defensive coordinator with the Pittsburgh Steelers and a man who went into the Hall of Fame this year. He was a great one, and Rondé Barber is a great one. What are your thoughts about him being qualified for the Hall of Fame?
Oh, he's qualified. His numbers speak for themselves. His resume speaks for itself. You factor all that with the Super Bowl championship. And I know that Mike Tomlin called Rondé this week and said Dick LeBeau told him he could not be happier that it got broke by somebody like Rondé Barber.
Liddell Betts, no gain, maybe a little bit down the 1-yard line. Ryan Sims made the tackle.
And talking to Rondé, he said, you don't start out to achieve what he's achieved. Because I never thought I'd be around this long and be able to start as many games as I've been able to start consecutively. He goes, but I got to tell you, he goes, I've been very, very lucky, number one. And then I got to tell John, I got to tell Monty, I got to tell Tony Dungy, thanks for playing me a lot of times when I was hurt and shouldn't have.
2-minute warning. Following us, it's the AT&T Game Break Show. Highlights, interviews, take you around the league with up-to-the-moment stats, and that precedes Game 2 of our NFL on Fox doubleheader, Dallas and Minnesota. And don't forget, Game 2 of the NLCS tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Here's Betts to the goal line, and he's in. Touchdown. season for Liddell Betts. And with time winding down, the Saints have the big lead on the Bucs. We said at the top the Saints were looking to play a complete game for the first time this season. This is as close as it gets. A couple of mistakes in there, but overall, this has been a great game for the New Orleans Saints.
I think the biggest shot in the arm is the run game and what they were able to get with Chris Ivory. The offensive line was out of their minds and how they were blocking today. Drew red hot early. And, you know, like I said earlier, a lot of teams have been defending the middle of the field. No Reggie Bush with all those little angle routes. So they can load up more guys in the middle, which has opened up the perimeter. And Sean Payton and Drew Brees dialed up the right plays and were able to execute it.
Offensive line played very, very well for the New Orleans Saints. Bushrod, Nix, Goodwin, Evans, and Stinchcomb. What a job of blocking, both protecting Drew Brees and for the run.
Absolutely. Very well coached by Aaron Cromer.
Short kick, bounces down, bounces by. Preston Parker picks it up, bobbles it. Now he's got it, and the Saints have him at the 10-yard line. Well, Josh Freeman gets time off. And right now we've got some more rough stuff going on. The tempers have flared late in the game. And Preston Parker was involved with Anthony Waters. Flags were thrown, and we'll check that out. Josh Johnson has replaced Josh Freeman. Johnson came in for a series last week in Cincinnati when Freeman took a hard hit and was knocked out of the game briefly. Josh Freeman, 25 for 43, 222 yards, 1 touchdown, 25 completions, a career high in the game. But the offense never sustained the drives, and then a couple of missed field goals. One late in the first half by Connor Barth. It was 17-0 at the time, but they wanted a lift. They didn't get it. They had a field goal try early in the second half after a turnover, and that went off the upright. Penalties marked off against the Saints. We'll bring the ball up to the 25-yard line. Josh Johnson, third-year man out of San Diego. Johnson was the starting quarterback early last season, then gave way to Josh Freeman. And out of the shotgun, Johnson throws outside the Cadillac Williams, steps out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
I'll tell you, a nice addition to their staff this year has been Alex Van Pelt. And when you start talking about the quarterbacks and the quarterback play, and I think it's smart. And you look at a group like this that doesn't have a veteran quarterback, Sam, on the roster. You bring in a guy that was a QB in the league for 8 or 9 years, as was Van Pelt, looking through it through the eyes of a veteran, and has allowed Greg Olson to really just be the offensive coordinator. So I think the quarterbacks have really benefited from Alex being here.
Johnson pulled it down, runs, and he runs very well. Tripped up as he goes up to the 38-yard line. Lee Torrance tripped him up. Hurry up offense for the Bucs. 11-yard pickup. Clock running. These teams have played close games most of the time. 4 of the last 5 coming into today have been decided by 4 points of fewer. How about that move by Jeremy Stevens? Little high hurdle action. And it's a flag back at the 32-yard line.
Holding. Offense. Number 75. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Davin Joseph, the right guard, called for the hold. Next week, the Bucs, who will be 3-2 after today's game, will be home against St. Louis.
And that's no easy game.
The Rams won today at home against San Diego.
Wow.
Rams are an improved team with Sam Bradford at quarterback. If time permits, we'll try to catch the end of the Giants and the Detroit Lions at the Meadowlands. Giants leading 28-20 in that one. Here's Johnson. Bullets it down for Stevens, and it's dropped incomplete. That was a well-thrown ball. It was on the rope for Stevens.
Oh, he's got a big arm pass. He is loaded with skill sets.
Saints next week will be home to the Cleveland Browns. Saints will go to 4-2, and if Philadelphia maintains their lead over Atlanta, and it's 28-17 Eagles late in the fourth quarter, the Saints will be tied with Atlanta for first place. Johnson, rush, stepping up, and they got it. First sack of the game, Jimmy Wilkerson gets it. The producer of today's game is Mike Burks, director Greg Scopatoni, associate director Tom Yohe, broadcast associate Matt Saldana. The studio show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Associate director is Stephanie Medina. Highlights coordinator Janice Casaza. Studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons. And our technical producer, the man who puts it all together, is Frank Phillips. And we thank him.
Johnson's pass, incomplete.
And again, happy birthday wishes to Jason Carter, our man with the first down line. No happiness for Josh Freeman, but the Bucs will be 3-2. They started the first quarter of the season. Good start. They wanted to build on it. Today's test was not a good one. They didn't handle the Saints at all. Your thoughts on regrouping after this game?
Yeah, I think the Rams game obviously is going to be big here because then they'll go on the road and they'll end up playing at Arizona and at Atlanta. I'll say this, impressed again with the quarterback even in the losing effort. They better find some pass rush on defense and they better learn how to defend the run. Whether they got to load up the inside with extra players, I don't know, but they got to figure out how to stop the run right down the middle of the field. Major problem this year, major problem today.
Well, Raheem Morris would like the game to be over, but there's going to be one more play as the ball went over on downs to the Saints.
Think about this for their defense. 525 yards they've given up on the ground in the last 3 games.
Final seconds. And a big win for the New Orleans Saints. Congratulations to Drew Brees and his wife. Tomorrow, it looks like they'll celebrate the birth of their new child. He had a great day today. 21 for 32, 262 yards, and 3 touchdowns. The Saints win it